Hey guys, Mr. Riz here to help you out on the last part of our PPMAN here. And that's what we're going to talk about today are rational exponents. So we've looked at exponents, whether they positive, negative, zero. We've taken them to powers. We've done other math with them. The only thing we haven't talked about is what if we have a fraction? So just kind of do an example here. I know there's some rules already written down. This is kind of like the algebra 2 level work. Everything we were doing before was technically algebra 1. Let's just plug in the calculator like 64, but this time we're going to take it to a fraction power, to the 1/2 power. So if you plug that into a calculator, it will tell us it is equal to 8. Okay. So the one thing, hey, thank you. One thing we know is that the square root of 64 is also 8. And a square root, it technically has an index level of 2, right? We were looking for pairs. So the one thing about this is that any fractional exponent, we can say any number or any base to a 1 over n power is really just the nth root of that base. Now, sometimes fractions can have a numerator and a denominator. And if we have that, basically it means we are still going to do the nth root of that base. We are just then going to take that base and inside raise it to that power. We could also write it as the nth root of that base to that power. Mathematically, it's equivalent. Okay. So we're going to do a couple examples here, making sure we understand. So we're going to convert here first into radical form. All right, so what is the x to the 4th root or to the 1/4 power? I said it. It would be the base is x, and we're going to take it to the 4th root. All right. All right, next, if we got 15n to the 1/2 power. Okay, so the base is 15n. We are not changing that at all. The 1/2 power would be the square root. Now you can put the 2th root, kind of sounds, or 2nd root, or just leave it as the square root. All right, we're not simplifying, or we're going to simplify if possible, but we're just going to write it like this. All right, next. All right, what's 24 to the 1/3 power? Okay, so remember we have a fraction here. Base is 24. The 3 is the index of the root. Okay, so hopefully we're doing all right here. If it's just a simple like 1/4, 1/2, 1/3, 1/5, you're just going to take the base and put it inside of a radical. The index is going to be that denominator there. Now, if we have a more complicated fraction here, like 7 to the 2/3 power, we're still going to use the denominator as our index. Our base stays the same. The numerator there, we're just going to put it as the power inside of the radical. Okay, so if we got k to the 7/2, okay, so 7/2, we can say that is the square root of k is the base to the 7th power. Now we could break some of this out of jail, but let's just get used to this kind of format here. All right, 3 to the 5/4 power. All right, so that means our base is 3. The denominator is 4, so we have a 4th root. And we're going to put it down there as 5. Okay. All righty, so hopefully we're kind of getting the hang of that. What we also want to do here is, okay, how can we go through, and these are kind of out of order number-wise, but we got it. How can we rewrite? So how can we go backwards to exponential form? It's always good, especially later on when we do some more math and solving. We want to make sure we can flip-flop here. So remember, like if I have x to the a over b power, that is the bth root of x to the a. So now if we go backwards here, that number inside of the square, or the base is, let's start there first. The base here is 11. That's our big number. The number inside of the square root is our numerator, and the index is our denominator. So this would be 11 to the 2/3 power. All right, so next one here, our base is k. The number inside is our numerator. The index on the outside is the denominator. So k to the 5/4. All righty. Next one. All right. Now remember here we have a square root here. Now, so we could also write this as the bth root of x to the a power. All right. So let's see here. We have 3m is our base. If we have a complicated base, we probably should put that in parentheses. All right. We have 7 and 2 is the index. So the biggest thing is the denominator is going to be the index. Now, the reason why this one works, and it's written a little differently than that one, whether that power is on the inside or the outside, technically, we break this one down here, just a little side journey. We'd have 3m to the 1/2 power, right, inside, and then that would be all to the 7th power. All right, because the square root, technically this is 3m to the 1st power inside. So that's how we get the 1/2. And then if we take a power to a power, we multiply 1/2 times 7 is 7/2. My biggest thing for you guys to know is to find the base. Index is going to be the bottom number. The other exponent is going to be your top number. So this one here, the base is -2a. The index is 4, so that's the bottom number. 5 is the other exponent. That's the numerator. All right, this one we got 10 to the 5th a cubed b. Well, that is a very complicated base, but that is what the base is. All right, now this is a square root. So that's technically has an index 2, and all that is to the 1st power. And even like this one here, here's another super complicated base. We got 9x to the 7th, y to the 4th. And all this is going to be to the index of 3. That's the numerator or denominator. Numerator b to the 1. All right, so we got a couple problems here for you to try. We're going to rewrite it in radical form. If you guys want to pause the video, try it on your own, you can, and then rewrite those in exponential form. We're going to go ahead and check our answers here in just a second, but pause the video, and then let's see if you got these right. Okay, so let's check our work. All right, rewrite in radical form. 36 to the 1/2 power would be the index is 2, our base is 36 to the 1 power, or we can just leave it as the square root of 36. All right, x to the 1/5 power. Okay, x is our base. The radical would be the 5th root, and we're going to leave that as to the 1st power, so we can leave that as x. So it's just the 5th root of x. And y to the 2/5 power. Y is our base. The index would be 5, and we are going to say y squared on the inside. Or I guess we could have put it in parentheses and go through. All right, now on the other one here, working backwards. All right, x is our base. The index is 5, so that's our denominator, and then the other exponent is 2, so that's x to the 2/5 power. Very similar to that problem there. And next one here, our base is 3n. All right, the index is 3, and the other power is 5. All right, guys, so this kind of wraps up our PPMAN. We've looked at all the different types of exponents we've had, for whether we add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them, have ones that are positive, negative, zeros, or even fractions now. So we're going to wrap this up. We'll take a quiz here real soon. And thanks for watching. Good luck on your last Edge Elastic. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. See you later, guys.